And now, part 2 of Another World.
Well, what's going on here?
Oh, we've got a special summer punch. Marianne's specialty here.
Marianne's, huh?
Daddy. Grandpa gave me the recipe when Chris and I had dinner over his house.
Oh, really? How did that go the other night?
Oh, it was fun. Aunt Liz was there, too.
Was she?
I'll get that.
You want to try this, honey?
Sure.
Hi. Hi. Is that for me?
No, it's for your parents. Hello, Mr. Randolph.
Oh, good evening, Chris. How are you this evening?
I'm just fine. I brought a little something over for you.
Well, you didn't have to do that.
Well, it's my dad's favorite brand.
Well, I'll have to open up after dinner then.
Ooh.
It's for the two of you.
Well, thank you. Now, would you like to try some of Marianne's special punch?
Oh. Strawberries looks delicious.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want some now, honey?
Oh, I'll have some later on.
It's good.
Sit you down. Tell us, how's your job?
It's okay.
Huh?
Well, you don't sound very enthusiastic, Chris.
I'll get used to it.
Having problems?
Nothing I can't handle.
Maybe I can help.
I guess I just shouldn't try to please everybody at once.
I don't follow.
Willis doesn't like me working with Vic.
Why not?
He says I'm to work exclusively with him.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Neither did I when I started, but well, look, I shouldn't even be talking about this.
No, now, wait a minute. Are Willis and Vic, are they having difficulties?
They work on separate projects, of course.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, Willis is in charge of the shopping mall Carol Lamont's designing, and Vic handles the museum that Robert Delaney's working on.
Oh, well, if they're going to be that busy, then I think maybe they each ought to have an assistant to themselves.
John?
Yeah?
Let's not talk business all evening, huh?
Oh, all right.
I've got some news for you, Daddy.
You do? What is it?
I am going to take my college entrance exams next week.
When did you arrange that?
Well, I went to the school board office this afternoon.
Oh, well, we better do some extra studying this week.
I could pass right now.
Well, you sound a lot more confident now than you did before.
Well, it's because of Chris.
Oh, come on, you worked hard on it.
Chris, we're very grateful to you for helping us so much.
I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Marianne, I'm very pleased.
So am I.
I just hope, though, that, well, that you're very serious about college when you get there.
Why do you say that?
Well, you know, it's not all parties and dances.
I know that.
Well, I was afraid you might get the wrong idea if you went to that dance last week with Chris.
Oh, well, I have to tell you something about that, Daddy.
Excuse me, will you? I think I'll check on dinner.
I mean, there's no rush about that, is there?
Oh, well, darling, Marianne and Chris would like to speak to you in private for a minute. I'll be back.
Well, go on, Marianne. What is it? Go on.
Promise you won't be mad?
Marianne, how can I promise that if I don't know what it is that you're going to say?
Okay. Chris and I didn't go to the engagement party last week.
You told me you did.
No, I didn't.
Well, you let me believe that you did.
I'm sorry.
Well, where did you go that night?
We went for a drive up along the lake.
Alone? And you let me believe all week that you'd gone ahead and gone to that dance?
I was afraid you'd be mad.
So you decide to soften me up by telling me you're going to take your college entrance examinations?
Daddy!
And Chris arrives with a bottle of brandy as a peace offering?
Daddy, why can't you understand?
Well, why did you decide to tell me now after you've successfully hidden it from me for over a week?
Maybe I shouldn't have.
Wait a minute, Marianne. Mr. Randolph, I take full responsibility for it.
Well, I was wondering when you were going to.
Daddy, it's not his fault.
Marianne, you're trying to tell me, or you're asking me to believe that he didn't talk you into this at the very last minute?
No, I talked him into it. And it wasn't at the last minute.
What do you mean?
Well, we decided to skip the dance that afternoon.
But why?
Because she was shy about meeting my friend.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You knew that you weren't going to take her to the dance. That night you came by here to pick her up, didn't you?
No, Daddy, I told him you knew.
Marianne, I don't believe you.
That's because you don't want to.
No, but you're obviously trying to cover up for Chris, that's all.
John, you're wrong.
Did you know about this?
Yes, Marianne told me earlier.
Well, then why didn't you tell me?
Because she wants to tell you herself, John.
And so this big, elaborate dinner and Marianne's a special punch and his bottle of brandy, that was all meant to soften me up, wasn't it?
It's not like that at all.
Well, then will you please tell me what's going on here?
Marianne realizes that she should have told you, and she's trying to apologize.
For what?
For concealing something from you.
And what else are they concealing, Pat?
Daddy, are you accusing me of something?
Well, why else have you been trying to hide these things from me?
Daddy! John, you're wrong.
How do you know I'm wrong?
I've talked to Marianne. There's no reason why we shouldn't trust her.
Well, what about him?
Mr. Randolph, I'm sorry about this, but you're making more out of it than you should.
I only have your word for that, don't I?
Isn't that good enough?
No! Now, I think it's best you don't stay for dinner, Chris.
Mom, don't let
Wait a
him.
minute. Okay, it's all right. I'll go. Mrs. Randolph, thank you for believing us anyway. I'll call you.
Oh, John, did you have to do that?
Well, I certainly can't sit down and eat a dinner at a table with that boy.
Well, you're going to have to eat without me, too, then.
Just a minute. You come back here, young lady.
We better talk about this.
Well, it's perfectly clear what side you're on.
You're being unreasonable.
Well, then there's not much point in discussing it with me, is there?